For me, my artwork has always been personal. It's always personal. I'm interested in how other people figure it out, and other people seem to find it interesting to read about the way I figure it out. I do drawings, works on paper. I love drawing with ink. It's the most direct possible medium. And it's clean and neat and self-contained. My work since about 1999 is about the side-by-side of perfect alongside imperfect, control alongside a lack of control. It's all about being human. So almost every drawing I do has one part of it that is made with a ruler or a template and is a geometric shape, circle, square, triangle. It's all about wanting control and you can't possibly have it. No matter how good you get, you can never have control. There will always be a quote-unquote mistake, and 9 times out of 10, the mistakes are what create the interesting aspect of the work. So while I'm doing it, I'm trying to be perfect, knowing that I can't be perfect, and knowing that if I just let myself not be perfect, it will be a more interesting drawing. It is the imperfect that makes you interesting. I'm from New York City. And when it was bad, there was Times Square was Times Square. There was no Disney to take over. It was fun. I loved growing up there. It was home. I went to many schools. Then I went to a Tony fancy private school for 2 years. Then I went to the High School of Art and Design. Then I went to an experimental high school run by parents, teachers, and students equally. Everybody had an equal say. That lasted 6 months. And then I finished out at a one-room schoolhouse in Manhattan run by one man who wrote his own textbooks called the Source Academy. The easiest way to do big if you're an artist who works small is to do work in pieces, parts. So you end up having multiple parts that add up to the big piece, and that works with my work. First large multiple piece I did was the diary project, where I had a diary, as I always do. I lost it for many, many years. Got a phone call that somebody had found this diary. This is such a great story. I've got to do something about this. I decided that I would copy every page onto a variety of papers and do a drawing on top of each page and try not to worry about what the words said. I had no concept of where this would go, but I knew I had to do it, so I did. That project allowed me to do all the different kinds of artwork and writing and visual tastiness that I wanted. And because it had this automatic boundary of it all coming from the same diary, anything went. And that was when I started sort of stitching on artwork and doing collage to nudge myself and my art career into push it out of the groove and try to reach a different group of people and a bigger group of people. What if I wanted to do something epic? What could I do? I had different ideas, and I'd take it to a certain point, and then I'd think, no, that's not going to work. I'm sure it's not quite this way, but I just remember looking down my long, ugly kitchen and seeing my dishwashing gloves hanging on the faucet, as they are always. And I thought, well, what if I did something with my dishwashing gloves? I copied all of Ulysses. it took me about 2.5 years and 310 dishwashing gloves. And I did that because I was trying to do something epic. I had different ideas and I'd take it to a certain point and then I'd think, no, that's not going to work. I was thinking a lot about my father because my father died in 2007. When it happened, it was one of those there was no time to think about it. So I was really thinking about him and the epic thing, and he loved the book Ulysses. Somehow I thought I could copy Ulysses, and then I could read it and it would make me think about him and it would have meaning to me. And once I decided that that was the thing I was going to do, I never looked back. I like writing diaries. I like to write about the minutiae of life. I like to read about the minutiae of life. It's everything. It's my meditation. It's everything. It's my way of ranting and being angry. And I respect words, good ones. I love good writing. Writing is very difficult, so it takes a lot of focus to translate what's going on in my mind to a word, and then to a sentence, and then to a paragraph. And that kind of brings me to a quieter place. I wanted to figure out how to just stitch words. And I knew that if I could do that, that there would be a sort of a sloppiness that would be appealing. And also there's something about seeing it in thread. Some things became more interesting when they were stitched than when they were written. I don't know why that is. I felt like I needed someone to teach me how to do it, and I had to take a class in it. It was the stupidest thing ever. And I'm not leaving this place until I've done it. And finally, the days were ticking away and I hadn't done it. And I picked up the needle, I put the thread through, picked up the cloth, and started to write a word. And it was the most wonderful. It was completely natural. A lot of that, my work still is about wanting to be noticed in a good way. And I want people to buy it. I want to make a living at it. And I want people to love it and be interested in it. And I want to be commissioned to do more of it. I feel like I'm a lot better now than I used to be, and I work much harder now than I used to, and I have a much clearer picture of everything I do. I'm much more focused, and I wish I had all that before I had it, but you've got what you've got, so it's just what I do. It's who I am.